This is Performance Anxiety on the Pantheon Podcast Network, and I am your host, Mark. Today's guest is special, and he has special things. Welcome Dan Cuddy to the podcast. Dan plays bass in The Special Pillow. He used to play bass in Hypnolovewheel. He's here to talk about Hypnolovewheel's new compilation, Parallel Universe. It's a great mix of their music, and it has a bunch of really cool songs that are previously unreleased. And, of course, we talk about Dan's career. Where did he start? How did Hypnolovewheel start? What's behind that name? How did it all end and The Special Pillow begin? Also, what's so special about this pillow? But, of course, we get sidetracked with Hypnolovewheel's place in the Marvel Universe, how they confuse prospective drummers, some tour stories, including some strange touring matchups, and a lot more. We also talk about cassettes versus CDs versus vinyl. It's gripping stuff. Check out Parallel Universe on Bandcamp and streaming platforms. Follow the band at Hypnolovewheel and at The Special Pillow on Instagram. Follow this show at Performance ANX. Grab some merch at performanceanx.threadless.com or just send some funding to ko-fi.com/performanceanxiety. Now grab your special pillow and check out Hypnolovewheel's Dan Cuddy on Performance Anxiety on the Pantheon Podcast Network.
Okay, sounds great. Then I'll Dan Cuddy from The Special Pillow and the Hypnolovewheel promoting the new Hypnolovewheel Retrospective Parallel Universe on Performance Anxiety. I have performance anxiety.
I really do appreciate you joining me this evening. I've been listening to the what's going to be the retrospective or compilation. I don't know exactly what you would call it for Hypnolovewheel. And man, I remember the band from that was right when I really started getting into music, and I forgot how cool it was. I hate to say it, but the music just kind of brought me right back to being in college. It was so great to hear it all again.
Cool. I'm glad. Where were you in school?
I was up in Rochester, New York. So,
Okay.
but I was living in New Jersey at the time. Went from New Jersey up to RIT for a few years, and that's when I really, really started getting into music. So,
Gotcha.
So I was trying to soak up everything I could, and the sound just really, really brought me back. It was wonderful.
Cool.
Now you're from that area as well. So are you from Long Island? Was that right?
I grew up in different places in New York State. My dad worked for the state of New York, so we moved around a bit. But Long Island was kind of where the seeds of the Hypnolovewheel were planted, because I moved down there the end of 10th grade, the end of 9th grade, and I met two of the members of the band early in the next school year.
Oh.
We had a high school band that was pretty cool. Plastic Device. I don't know if you've heard of that or heard anything of it.
I was doing my research, and I discovered that I haven't. Did you guys ever record anything?
Oh yeah, we got a Bandcamp thing. Not only did we record stuff back then, but we did the most amazing high school band reunion of all time. We went and recorded a single with Mitch Easter.
Wow!
In 2019.
Oh my God!
A couple songs we never quite got to our satisfaction, and it exists. It's out there. There's 7 inches. If anybody wants to check it out, it came out pretty well.
That's incredible. I feel like I didn't do all my research.
I feel like we didn't publicize that well enough, because it was a pretty cool story, to be honest, and a pretty cool record.
Well, I do want to learn a little bit about that. So
There's a compilation of Plastic Device, just the stuff we did, and we would put up cassettes on Long Island, and
Okay.
we were very like industrious youngsters, I guess. We were on Long Island, we'd play gigs in New York City. We played at the Dive a bunch of times, which was kind of a cool happening 60s place at the time, and we were a little more 60s kind of oriented group. But
Okay. So was bass your first instrument? Was that what you started off with?
pretty much. I took a couple guitar lessons and I couldn't really get my head around it, and then I got a bass and I took some bass lessons, and like you can't really play bass till you play in a band, I don't think.
Yeah.
That was my experience. It's like playing bass by yourself is like you really have to have a internal sense of rhythm that I don't. Maybe I got it now, but I didn't have it then.
I can understand that. That really does make sense. It's kind of like playing. I imagine playing drums by yourself would be kind of similar.
I think playing drums by yourself would be fun, but playing bass by yourself, I think you need a drummer or something. I never really got it, but I love music. I was a huge fan, and when I moved down to Long Island and met up with those guys, that band already existed.
Oh.
Plastic Device was like a new wave cover band, and their drummer graduated. They were all high school students. Their drummer graduated, and so they were looking to reconfigure the lineup, and they learned I had a bass, and we worked it out from there. But
oh man, so you're in high school and you guys are playing in clubs and all?
well, yes, we had some fake IDs, and those guys were a bit older, and also at the time in New York State, the drinking age was 18.
Okay.
Though it soon changed. Sadly for me, but they, it's weird. They all graduated. They're all a couple years older than me, and they all graduated. But we kept it going during like school breaks. We would do gigs and recording stuff. Like I said, we were industrious, so, which was something else. And another member of the band was a guy named Chris Ephos, who's played with King Missile, and is also in the Moth Wranglers, and he plays it now in Dukla with Steven from our band. But he was an early, Port Studio owner, which was really cool. So we would do stuff in the basement there, and it was fun. It was a good band and a good time.
Is that when you decided that was kind of what you wanted to pursue?
It's always what I want to pursue, but if you're talking about like as a profession, it's never been a reality, and I don't think it ever will be. But it's cool. It's a vocation, I guess is what they say.
Yeah, I totally understand that. That's my photography. I went to college for it, did it for a few years. Well, about 10 or 12 years, and then now it's kind of a hobby, but I do it all the time still. So
if it's the most important thing to you, then that's the thing, What are you going to do? It doesn't matter.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm not getting paid for it anymore, but it's okay. I'm still doing it. Actually, I'm enjoying it more than when I was doing it professionally. So
professional is it's a very loose term.
Yeah.
I mean, looping back to the Plastic Device for a second, the most money I think I ever, or up there, a very well-paying gig was the Plastic Device reunion from 2019, and we played out on Long Island, and
professional, like you say, it's point of view.
It's definitely a point of view, and also professionalism. I don't know. I wouldn't go there. Don't go there.
We'll be right back after a word from our sponsors. So the evolution from Plastic Device to Hypnolovewheel, how did that happen? I mean, was it most of the same members from Plastic Device, or was there a big personnel shift?
Well, there was a big gap there, and I went to college, and I mean, it just seemed kind of goofy to keep the Plastic Device going after 2 summers worth of rehearsals and then doing stuff. I think we took it as far as we could, and the idea was that at a certain point, at that point, it was going to stop. And I did a couple projects with Steven. I was in a band called It with Allison Faith Levy, great artist and singer, and still active to this day. I'm a former member of the Loud family. She's got a ton of solo albums, and she did some stuff with the Sippy Cups. Are you familiar with them? It was a kids rock band. Well, she was part of that too.
That
but we had a band called It that was a trio, kind of no drums, kind of a folky thing.
Okay.
And we played around. We played at CBGB's. We played on Long Island. We did some recordings that I don't think ever. Actually, they did come out. Our great friend Chris did a cassette compilation. Cassettes were kind of like the thing now. You could. It was very then.
Yeah.
I guess
now too.
I know exactly. He did a compilation. Chris was super active in the music scene, recording different bands, and so he did a compilation called "The Origin of Grapefruit," which I think should probably be re-released.
That sounds amazing.
There's a couple songs. There's some Plastic Device on there, and there's a couple of songs from It, which was Allison and Steven and me, and then that kind of fell apart. And then there was a short-lived group with Dave Ramirez and Allison and myself, but Dave was playing drums, which is what was his role in the Plastic Device.
Okay.
But he had gone to school, had a band called the Snackmates, upstate New York, and Fredonia, New York.
These are the best names.
The Snackmates were a great band, and they're actually on that cassette too.
Oh man.
And Fredonia was an audio recording. They had an audio recording program there, so
okay.
He got some good sounding demos demos, whatever. It came out. Good sounding recordings.
Yeah, that's really not a demo if it's been released, right?
Right. But I'd like to hear the Snackmates reach a larger audience. But looping back to my original, it's not my original, my secondary tangent. We had a group called Vermicious Canids that was also didn't last as long as It actually, and didn't do as much. But we played a couple gigs, I think.
Okay, is that one of the writing credits on the first Hypnolovewheel EP?
Yes, the song "Done" was Vermicious Canids. I think were Allison's, so full credit, props to her for those.
Okay. So how did you come up with the name Hypnolovewheel? I mean, you guys are full of wild, awesome names, but that one's a little bit different.
I don't know. It was definitely inspired by the comic book ads for like the Hypno disc, where you would entrance. I guess women mostly. It seemed like it seemed a little creepy.
It does,
to be honest. It seems to be a little creepy.
Yeah.
But then we made I don't know if it's an error or a greatest move ever by just like running the three words together. So it's a long word that people would always stumble over. Like people, a random guy doing an introduction on stage would be like, hypo.
Sounds like a brain condition.
It wasn't our greatest commercial flourish, having a 14-letter name, but that's what we did, and we stuck with it, and we even thought about it. We're like, should we maybe in the next one we'll put the typography on 3 lines? And we're like, no.
Good for you. Stick to your guns.
Stick by the guns. Yeah.
At what point? Well, I guess I read that you guys had put an ad out for a drummer that kind of confused your drummer when he applied for it for the drummer position.
It did. Well, it was just a flyer, and we hung it around the NYU. area because we'd been playing. I was going to NYU at the time, and there was a rehearsal space in the basement that was available to all the students, and we took advantage of it. Free rehearsal space in Manhattan. My God.
Yeah.
And I believe Peter was the only one who responded to it, but yeah, he thought it was like a drum corps because it said wanted drummers.
Right.
I can't take the hit for that one. That was all Steven.
Oh, well.
But it all worked out though, and he was a guy we immediately connected with on. I mean, if you've seen that poster, it was pretty esoteric what we were asking for.
Yeah.
It was the kind of thing that either no one was going to respond to, or the one person who got the jokes was going to.
It was, I mean, honestly, I haven't seen a whole lot of people wanting someone who sounds kind of like Mo Tucker and Mickey Dolenz.
But why not? Two of the greats.
Yeah, and
I don't
Charlie
get
Watts.
I mean, the Charlie Watts part is probably the good part.
Yeah. Simon, Alvin's brother. I mean,
I don't even know what his drumming was like. I think that was just kind of like an aspirational. We wanted to be like a goofy bubblegum, fantasy, basically.
I heard the Chipmunks use session guys.
I don't know. It might have been Hal Blaine, or who knows.
I wouldn't put it past Dave Seville. That guy, something a little sketchy about that guy. Hanging around with 3 rodents. I don't know. So once you got your drummer, how quickly were you guys playing? I mean, were you working on stuff that was from Plastic Device, or were you writing new stuff immediately? Both.
We were writing new stuff. We never played any Plastic Device songs because Dave Ramirez was the drummer in Plastic Device, and he was at that point quite a incredible guitar player, and only got more incredible as the time went on. And Steven was just the singer in just the singer. He was solely the vocalist in Plastic Device, and he was more than just a singer. Believe me, he was an amazing frontman. I mean, at that point, we loved the flesh tones and that kind of like, we wanted an interactive singer, and that was definitely him. Yeah. At this point, both of those guys had guitars, and they knew how to use them. So that's where we went from there. But we did start playing, as I definitely CBGBs, we started playing before we even had a decent set worth of material.
Oh,
we were just like wanted to go.
That's amazing. So was there one main songwriter? Did everybody kind of contribute? Everybody
contributed. It took a while for Peter, I think, to get involved, but when he did, he came up with some of the greatest ones. Everyone was, trading off on the vocals, and someone would come into the rehearsal with an idea, and then we just kind of, work it up from there.
Okay.
Play it on whatever the instrument was.
So how quickly after you guys started playing did you start working on the EP, the first EP?
With Next Week, the pink one?
Yes.
Very, 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 very quickly.
And that was self-released, or was that you had an imprint, I think?
We had an imprint, Snatch-O-Matic Records, but that was self-released, yes.
23 hours of pain in a 24-hour frame. She loves the sun, but she plays in the rain. She always said, 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 next week. She always said, 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 next week. And that straight painted black floated in the room.
How does that work? Because I'm not a musician, and I'm not a record. I don't even want to say exec, because I don't even know if that's the right word. But how do you guys go about doing that? Is it something that you have to set up legally, or are you just pressing them to bring to gigs? Or
we did. I mean, the thing with the Dave Ramirez, when he was going to school in Fredonia, was a big. I think he was the music director at the college station, so he kind of knew the basic mechanics of how to get that out there, and it got. I think it got reviewed in CMJ, which I don't even know if that even exists. It was a publication that was like the College Music Journal, and had some pull back then.
I remember.
It got reviewed in a couple other places. I had a good pal of mine from school was Mike McGonigal, who did a magazine called Chemical Imbalance. He threw in a plug in there, and
nice.
yeah, no, I mean it didn't. It definitely didn't disappear into the ether. I think it somehow maybe it was in a Long Island, like Entertainment Weekly, Good Times. There's a thing called Good Times Magazine on Long Island, which was not necessarily, it didn't necessarily live up to the title, but I think they may have reviewed it and favorably. So thank you, Good Times Mag.
Thank you, Good Times Magazine. So you also ended up doing a theme song around that time for the movie Soul Tangler. How did that come about? I mean, from you guys are just putting out your own thing, and then all of a sudden you're approached to do a theme song for a movie.
I think that might have been the first thing that actually came out. I think that might have beat out the EP.
Oh, wow.
It was a great pal of ours from Long Island, Pat Bischow, who is, Psychotronic Film Auteur, has done a ton of stuff and some great stuff since then. Look him up, Pat Bischow. But anyway, he asked us to do it, and we did it, and that surprisingly has had a long life to it. I mean, it's been re-released on VHS. Which is a heavy scene. So I mean, I think there's a cult audience for it, and that was one of our very first things that we did, and I believe it. If it didn't predate the EP, it was right around the same time we recorded it on a Porter studio, and I think it came out before actually.
Okay, so
the very first Hypnolovewheel release.
Okay, so this is like mid '80s.
It would have been '87. I think maybe late '86. We got together, so this will be the 40th anniversary of the group, which is kind of chilling. But the EP was out in '87, and I don't have the precise dates, but it would have been, the fall winter of '86 into '87.
Okay. So the sound is really wild. I love the sound of the band. It's got like this jangly pop, but there's also this like garage dirtiness to it. It's about sometimes in the same song. And I think that's one of the things that I've kind of, in listening to this new album that's about to be released, that's one of the things I realized is this amazing mix of sounds that the band was able to get. Like there's what songs did I write here? So like the song Wow, all right, there's this great jangly pop. You guys have great harmonies. It's really amazing. A song like Here Comes a Headache, which that might be that, or I Dream of Jeannie might be, they kind of been fighting for my top spot this past week.
All right, cool.
because I love the noise. I love feedback. I love when people can use it effectively, and it's incredible how you guys were able to kind of combine these two. I don't want to say exactly disparate sounds, but these two definitely unique sounds that I can't think of anything at that time that would have sounded like that.
It was a balancing act. I think everyone, if you have 4 people writing the songs, everyone's kind of coming from a slightly different angle. And there was probably I'm not sure anyone was satisfied at that time, but I think the ultimate product is pretty cool, and I think kind of speaks for itself. Yeah, it made it hard to fit in, I would say, at that point, because there was a big 60s retro thing happening in New York, and we weren't quite there. And there was a big noise thing happening, but we weren't like, Swans or Cop Shoot Cop or somebody like that. We had like pop songs. So it was hard to find the exact space to be in. I don't know if we did, but maybe that's a good thing.
Yeah, because I mean the albums all got critically, they had critical acclaim. They were doing. Everybody who listened to it loved it. We
were very lucky, like kind of right from the start, I think. Our friend Eamon Bowles put out that Turn, Burn, the first record, and he was just like, here, bring a copy down to Spin Magazine. And so I just like brought one down there, and they reviewed it. It was like, it's hard to not be. I mean, it seemed miraculous. It seems way more miraculous now than it did at the time. Yeah. But because I was like, oh wow, they really did it. And then now I'm like, wow, they really did it. Yeah, I just showed up in their lobby. I was like, here, I got an album for you. Yeah. Here you go. That was seriously it.
Wow. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I don't think you can't do that today.
I don't think you can hand deliver an LP to a major magazine's offices, and
no,
I don't think you could even get with it. You couldn't get out of the lobby, to be honest. So those were the days, I guess.
So the band's active, fully active. I'm trying to figure out a way to bridge this, because I'm very curious to find out how the band ended up in a Spider-Man comic.
Well, I had a job at Marvel at the time. I had a few jobs, but I worked my way up. I started in international licensing there. Like, that was my first job out of college.
Oh, wow.
A very, very low-paying job, even for then. And I went from there to becoming like sort of a general assistant, and then I became a specific assistant to the office that did the Spider-Man comics. Okay. So my job was to keep everything going. It's a tough racket. Periodical publishing at that point, especially, was just like, it's got to come out.
Yeah,
I think there are some comics now in the contemporary comic industry where they can like kind of wait on people to an extent.
Okay.
But at that point, it was like, something's going to be between those two covers. Right. So that was how it happened. Because basically, it was the pre-internet days. I would spend a lot of time talking to the different, creative types on the phone and be like, "Yeah, I'm doing this band and whatever." And they indulged me by throwing it in there. I think we're officially in continuity. I think Nighthawk was listening to us in an issue of New Warriors, and wow. There's a Spider-Man one where he's trying to get tickets for him and MJ to come see Hypnolovewheel, and then there was the Todd McFarlane one where it's just on the billboard. But that was, at that point, that was like a very high selling magazine, so just having our name in there is incredible. And I've seen that, different, going on vacation. I went to France, I went to comic store, picked up the trade paperback, the French trade paperback, the current French trade paperback, and it's still there. So
wow, that is so cool.
Sacre bleu.
Oh, you got me on that. I wasn't prepared for that. We'll be right back after a word from our sponsors. So, are you guys gigging a lot? Is this your main? I mean, well, you had like you said, you were working for Marvel. Was everybody else working during the day and doing this at night, or was it full time for anybody?
Peter had a regular job. No, I mean, everyone was temping. We did. I would say that Marvel was very generous in terms of giving me unpaid leave, which eventually just kind of became too much. So I left after a few years. But I mean, there were a bunch of years where I'd be gone for a month or a couple of weeks, or I used all my vacation time plus.
Right. So you guys are playing around. Are you playing regionally? Are you getting a chance to tour the country or go international?
We never went to Europe, that's kind of a sad story, because my understanding was it did pretty well, and it was a weird kind of connection to make at that time. I called some people. The right connection was never made. Let me put it that way. I called some people to be like, yeah, it's doing great, but this has to happen. That has to happen. I wasn't the manager, but I was reaching out. But I'm not sure who would have been the right person to even bridge that gap. But we did tour. We had a whole series of great booking agents, and we toured mostly the Northeast, and then later on, when we signed with Alias Records, we did a national tour with a band called Kitchens of Distinction, kind of a shoegaze band, which are a cool band, a very, three guys, but they sounded like a wall of sound, a glacier of sound coming at you. The guitar player was like out of control. We'd mostly, the farthest mainly we'd go out to would be like Chicago. There was a while where Dave Ramirez was the drummer for King Missile, who were friends of ours, and we did a tour with them right when they were peaking, which was a tough. We were like, we'll trade off headlining every night, and then the first night we were the headliners, and we're like, yeah, you guys are headlining from now on, because everyone was there to see them, and Jesus was way cool, and. But I mean, it was still great. A lot of people showed up, and it was a fun time going with your friends. I mean, we did a lot of touring over in the course of our whole career by ourselves, which is, you never know.
Yeah,
you never know what's going to happen.
Right.
There was a point where everybody wanted to be the Red Hot Chili Peppers. I would say that was maybe 1992.
Yep.
So we played with a lot of Chili Pepper bands, which it wasn't really our thing, didn't sound like us.
I was going to say that's a weird combination.
But we played with a lot of weird combinations, though. We did an amazing show in New Orleans with a Widespread Panic.
Oh, really?
You know them, the big jam band? Yeah. A big place, Tipitinas. We were the openers. I think it was broadcast live on the radio, and the people were great. I guess when you're on drugs, you're open to whatever's happening.
Hey,
as a member,
Widespread's got a widespread audience.
They were great. It was a great audience, and they were really receptive. A lot of people with those Cat in the Hat hats that was popular at the time. But we went over well. We went over well. We went over well with Jesus Lizard.
Oh, that's so cool.
I can't remember where that was. Madison, maybe.
That would make sense.
We could play with a lot of bands, and we did play with a lot of disparate bands. We did another tour. We did half the country with the Posies, who was the power pop group, and they were kind of at their best at that point, and we couldn't do the West Coast for various reasons, but that was a good tour. But we toured a lot. We played a lot in Ohio. We played a lot in Chicago. We went to Minneapolis several times. That was usually kind of the cutoff, though. We played a lot of places in Iowa. We played a lot of places in Kansas.
Oh, wow.
We played, there's big gaps.
Yeah.
and also weird places of like, why are we actually even playing here? So Iowa was good for us. Kansas was memorable because there was like a huge blizzard on a Halloween.
Oh, wow.
We were on our way out to record the Angel Food album. The label Alias Records they owned a recording studio, so we got theoretically free time, though.
Okay.
I don't know if how free is free.
Yeah.
But we toured out and toured back to that, and we played on Halloween in Lawrence, Kansas, and then there was a blizzard, they shut down the interstate, so we did not make it to. We had another weird big show that we didn't make it to, which was with Ugly Kid Joe.
Oh my gosh!
Remember that?
They're still touring.
They're not touring with us, but if we had made it there, I think it was in Salt Lake City. It might have been Denver. I think it was Salt Lake. I can't remember exactly, but it wouldn't have mattered. We didn't make it out of Kansas.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
I don't know if they always get blizzards on Halloween in Kansas too. My impression was maybe not, but
I don't know. I mean, I know they get some nasty weather there, but I don't know how early it's supposed to start. I will know fairly soon. My daughter's moved out to Idaho, so
okay. I don't think we ever played in Idaho, though we did.
I think a lot of bands can say that.
I think you're probably right. There were a couple gaps, but we covered a lot of the lower 48, and we went to Vancouver and Toronto. But that was it internationally, unfortunately for us.
Yeah. So after, what was it, 9 years, 5 albums, 3 EPs, including the Sybil EP, which I haven't heard it, but I was looking it up and it sounds wild.
Oh, right on. Well, that was a cool one. That was Tom Sharpling. I don't know if you know him from the Best Show podcast. He's a comedian, great guy, funny guy.
Okay.
Podcaster. He had a label called 18 Wheeler, and that was his idea and his release, and it's pretty cool. Everybody gets a side.
So is it kind of like the separate Kiss albums, but for Hypnolovewheel?
Exactly.
Oh,
that's exactly what it is.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm gonna have to look this up because I didn't have the wherewithal to do it. Unfortunately, traveling for some graduations and stuff. Is that, if that's on YouTube or is it on any of your Bandcamp stuff?
It has not been re-released, and I don't think it's ever was streaming. Maybe it's on YouTube. I hope it's on YouTube.
Dr. Frankenstein presents the nuclear smile, the nuclear party where the groovy people dance. Dr. Frankenstein presents the nuclear heart, the nuclear Sadie Hawkins baby, brainwave baby, Frankenstein.
If it's not, you know what? I'd be like, I have a spare copy. I don't know if I do have a spare copy. To be honest, I shouldn't make that promise casually.
I'm going to look it up while we're talking. Let's see.
It might be on Bandcamp or not Bandcamp, YouTube. It's definitely not on Bandcamp. We might try to put it on Bandcamp at some point.
Let's see. All right. So, Operation Brainwave, Planetarium, The Thin Ice, Easy Journey to Other Planets.
Okay. So it's all split up into different tracks.
Yeah. I don't know if the whole thing is on there. I'm going to have to go through it. Okay. I see 1, 2, 3, 4 tracks. Then it goes to something else about Sybil. And then at least a couple of tracks up there.
There was a bunch. I mean, I think I had 3 on my side. I think Steven had 2. I think Dave might have had. Oh, Dave might have had a bunch. He had instrumental ones, shorter ones. 5. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's see.
And Peter might have had 2. And I think Peter had 2. Steven had 2. I had 3, and Dave had 5. I'll trust you on that one.
I'm just pulling up on Discogs right now. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's 4 sides and. See, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 12 tracks total.
Right.
And
not too bad.
I'm looking at it. This looks really wild. I can't wait to find this. I got to hear this.
It was fun. That was what I would say. That was not quite the last thing we did, but it was later, definitely later in our career.
Okay,
putting that together, and it was fun.
Well, if you don't have a copy, there are a couple for sale on Discogs.
Yeah, I think I have at least one, but I don't want to promise you a spare. If I'm like I got one, I might have like 5. In which case, I'll get back to you.
All right, that sounds good. That's a deal.
Okay.
So after all of that, and the final single, which was
Secret Star.
Secret Star, yes. So, which that song was way heavier than I was expecting. After all of that, the band was over. Was it like a mutual thing, or was it just kind of a gradual, things just stopped happening?
I would say both of those things.
Okay.
I would say both of those things. We'd been going for, it was, I think, probably more like 7 years, but a long time.
Okay.
And, people at that age are doing a lot of different stuff. We started, I was still in school, and then it was, through early jobs, and then I left my job to do, the band a little more, and then I got another job. Yeah. That all happened. The stuff, life changes. Everybody's life changes a lot in their early 20s. It was definitely all happening at that point. Steve and David both gotten married. They both had kids kind of soon. I think Dave's first daughter was born when the band was still happening. So,
oh wow,
I believe so. I think Secret Star has exactly. Everybody was doing different stuff. Okay, I think if it had been a runaway success, we might have figured out a way to keep it going, but it wasn't really. So.
But it was like it was amicable. It was and mutual. It wasn't just like, oh, screw you guys, I hate you.
Yeah, no. I would say it's as amicable as I could imagine something like that being.
But then you kind of jumped on pretty quickly to Special Pillow.
I did. Well, those things were going kind of concurrently for a while.
Okay.
Because the Special Pillow came out of that Sybil EP, actually, my side of that, and the musicians I was working with on that, it kind of spawned. That's kind of what spawned the Special Pillow band. But there was the last year, I guess, or year and a half, the last bit of time that I was working on both of those things at the same time.
Okay, so how did you come up with the name? Because I'm really curious to know. It's such a like all your other bands. It just is a very interesting, unique name. What is the Special Pillow?
I got a pillow from a chiropractor, and those guys would make fun of me for it. They'd be like, "Special Pillow." So I figured I would own it. That wasn't, though. It took us a while. We were weighing the names between Secret Passage or Special Pillow, because we had a gig, and so we're like, okay, Secret Passage it is, and we did the gig at Secret Passage, and then it was like, no.
We don't sound like a Secret Passage. We sound like a Special Pillow.
Right. Well, the cello player Cindy said Secret Passage sounded like a book about menopause, and so. I think that was the end of that one. But it was not the end of the band. It was just the beginning of the band, actually.
Has the band been going pretty steady? Because I've just been looking at some of the releases, but that isn't always indicative of how active a band is, obviously. So, have you guys?
Special Pillow is still happening. I mean, there's been a lot of different people in the band over the years. The main charter members are myself and violin player Katie Gentili, who played with Run On, and she played with the Mad Scene. Oh, and she and I are the mainstays. But I mean, like, the new guy is like been playing for 10 years. Oh. and the other new guy's been playing for 20 years. So yeah, it's been some version of that group has been going pretty consistently, more than consistently, let's say, since 94, 95.
Okay.
95, I think, was the first single. So.
And there's, as we mentioned very early on in the podcast, is activity in the Hypnolovewheel camp. Now there's an album coming out. Is it a compilation? What would you consider? Because it's got, is it 15 or 16 tracks and then some bonus tracks at the end?
There are a bunch of tracks. It's kind of a convoluted story, but there was an earlier, just vinyl only edition that came out on a label that Steven was working on, and it came out in like 2020. A very limited. I think there was like 100 vinyl copies, and there are still a few of those available, but maybe not for long. I don't know. They're on.
Hopefully not.
We threw those up on Bandcamp, but we did not press any more vinyl.
Wow.
So, but it was never streaming, and now it is. And so it's the tracks from that plus a bunch of stuff that hadn't seen the light of day before, kind of bonus things, including Secret Star, which that one had seen a light of day.
Yeah. So how do you pick the songs for this? Is it tough to, because I mean,
that was not done by us. We delegated that to our friend James McNew from Yola Tango, who
good.
is actually, we go way back with he was actually on stage with Hypnolovewheel more than one time as the third guitar player.
Cool.
And so he knows the group for sure, and he picked out the first 15, I guess, and the others I don't know who picked those. Actually, I think they're like, is it okay to put this on? And I was like, yeah, sure, whatever.
Where do they come from? How do you, I mean, do you think the demos that you had, or did somebody else have them?
Everybody's got some ancient media floating around, and there's more. There's a lot more out there. I mean, that's our challenge now. I mean, the impetus, I think, to start this again, we had permission to do that from Alias Records, which was our record label that owned most of the material.
Okay.
And they're just like, sure, you can do, 100 vinyl copies on Bandcamp, whatever. But subsequent to that, they gave us the tapes back. I think they were actually trying to clear out a storage space. but and so that was the impetus to actually get, how can we get the rights back? They were like, okay. And there's more to that, and it's so boring. I'm not even going to delve into it. I'm not even delving into it. We got them back. We got the rights to all our records.
That's
and
awesome.
So the plan is now to, since this was mastered by Kurt Block from Fastbacks, which is an amazing crew. I had nothing to do with that, but I love Fastbacks. So
yeah.
And I think he made them sound like a nice coherent album, to be honest. Our plan is going forward to the best of our abilities to get it all out there, and it's not, remastering stuff is not cheap.
Right.
So there's that. So we're going to, we're taking it one step at a time, but there's definitely going to be one other release coming up soon. And I don't think I'm allowed to say what it is, but
Understandable.
If you follow the chronological concept, you could probably figure out which one it is.
It's civil.
It's not. No, but oh man, I don't think we haven't even thought about that one. I think that's one where the master was probably on a DAT that's probably at a record plant that's probably closed.
Oh.
But we got, like I said, there's a lot of old time media we can scour through and see what we can do.
So if the stuff gets remastered, are you? I guess the plan is to hopefully release the albums. Would there be bonus tracks on these things? Or is that stuff that that you have the material for?
We have a lot of material. Yes, there would definitely be some kind of bonus stuff. I mean, the first two albums we did were never streaming, and the Turn Burn was, I think it's on YouTube. In fact, I'm sure it's on YouTube, but was never digitally released by us or by anyone officially at all. I think maybe Albert Garzone, who was the producer, he might be the one who threw that one up on YouTube, but which is fine. He had some skin in the game, but I'm sure he just got it from a vinyl copy, which is also fun. There's a realness, antique realness, like Bessie Smith or something.
Yeah, and you want to get the music out there. You want it heard.
Absolutely. Well, our plan is to make that happen. as I said, to the best of our abilities in a prompt manner, but one step at a time.
Yeah.
Versus this, and then is another thing, and then we'll keep going.
It's just small steps. Everything starts with small steps. Speaking of that, and I know we lost Peter a few years ago, but is there any chance of the band playing again or doing any kind of reunion show or anything like that?
There's a chance, yes. I think we probably. When is this podcast going to air?
Probably in about a month.
Okay. By that time, you'll probably know more about it.
Okay. So early.
It would definitely be more on the high school reunion tip than on the we're back and we're gonna conquer all 50 states this time.
This time. Well, hopefully I'll be keeping an eye on everything. What is the best...
Sorry to be cagey about that. I don't think I'm supposed to spill all the beans, but
no.
There's a strong possibility that something like that might be happening.
Excellent. That would be amazing. So, and I don't even worry about it. I totally understand. I don't want to get you in trouble for any of this stuff. Isn't it weird? You're a quarter of the band, and if you say something, somebody's going to slap you on the hand. It's your band. What the hell?
You're right. But I still don't think I'm supposed to say anything.
So what is the best way for people to find this music? When the album, I believe by the time this comes out, the compilation will be out.
Okay.
I think it was coming out mid-June.
June 19th will be the release date, and it'll be streaming through every streaming service you can imagine, and it'll be, if you want to throw some money, it'll be on Bandcamp. There, as I said, I think there's maybe 9 copies of the previous vinyl edition up for grabs, so don't sleep on those.
Will there be any other physical copies, or just those 9, and otherwise it's digital?
That's all we got planned at this point. There was talk about cassettes. We haven't made them yet, so I don't think they're going to be around on June 19th, but they could happen sometime.
Something could materialize. Some physical copy could materialize.
I don't know. What do you think about cassettes? Are you into that whole cassette?
No,
buying albums on cassettes.
I hated cassettes when they were new. I mean, I bought everything on cassettes because that's all there was. It was portable, but I destroyed so many cassettes with my Walkman back in the 80s and the 90s. I dread playing them. And I don't even have a cassette player. My son, he loves old tech. So he's got 2 or 3 cassette players. And I've got a couple collectibles, and I'm like, do not touch them. You're never allowed to touch. There's 5 cassettes that I have that are actually rare. Don't touch them.
I gotcha on that one. I was never a fan of the format. I'm amazed that people are into it. I guess it's just more of a talisman thing. I actually have a double cassette player. I could actually dupe you a cassette if I had one that was dupable. But
man,
I don't play them in. But there's quite a bit of our material exists only in that format, and I think we will send it to professionals to extract it as opposed to trying to do that ourselves.
I was always more of a CD guy.
That's my favorite. I gotta say, I like people love the vinyl. The thing is, think about this for a second. How many CDs in your whole music collecting career have you had that are just malfunctioning?
None. There's my wall.
I've had a few, but very few. But even as a kid buying vinyl, every other one would have some kind of skip in it or something. I don't know.
I take that back. I do have one. It was a Caius album that would only play track 1, and that was it. So I had to send it back. It
happens, but it's comparatively extremely rare in my opinion. And I hear people saying that they're degrading, and maybe they are. I don't know. I haven't really run into that too much. Maybe that was a certain time period. Maybe.
Yeah. I haven't run into it, and it happened to a friend of mine. He's got one. He's like, I got this one, and it was some total garbage CD anyway. I don't know what the band was, something bad Big Audio Dynamite or something that he bought in like 1988 or 89. I'm like, why are you even playing that? He's like, it just I put in my disc player and it just doesn't play anything. I'll go ahead and I'll pull out like the first CD. I still have the first CD I ever bought. And I put it in my disc player and it still plays.
Yeah, no, I think same here though. I don't know what the first one I bought was. The first one I got, I know my sister bought me Electric Ladyland for Christmas. I think, and I got a Discman at the same time, my first Discman. And if I'm going to listen to Electric Ladyland, I probably won't listen to that version because it doesn't sound that as good. But I think it probably, who knows? I'm guessing it probably plays. I know the Axis Bold's Love from around the same time definitely does.
Mine was Steve Vai's Flexible. And I got it because my brother and I got my dad a CD player for Christmas. And we didn't have anything to play on it. So we got him a couple CDs. And I'm like, I'm going to buy myself one too. Because now I have something to play on.
There's got to be something in it for you. Yeah. Come on, man.
Well, and in my own defense, I was looking around and I saw Steve Vai's Flexible. And I'm like, nobody knows who this dude is at this point. Because this is like 1990. Passion and Warfare. It was just barely out, and guitar geeks knew it, and that's about it. And I'm like, it's still a fairly new medium, so I'm like, I don't know if this thing is gonna stick around. I don't know if I'm ever gonna see this again. So I went and I snagged it. Little did I know it'd be around forever, but that's in my defense for buying a CD for my dad's Christmas gift. So,
buying yourself a CD.
exactly for the gift I'm giving my dad. So, but.
I will agree with you on the CD format. I like it a lot, and of course, I intrinsically bonded to the vinyl that I grew up on as a youngster, and
that the ones that you pressed for yourself too. So I'm sure.
Well, that's where you hear sometimes there's good ones. I gotta say, Gotta Groove Records out of Ohio they did 2 nice pressings of some Special Pillow records. So
that's awesome.
Very happy with that.
Well, I don't want to keep you for the whole night. This has been a blast. I could talk to you for hours about CDs for sure. What is the best way for people to follow you and to learn about the Hypnolovewheel reissues and Special Pillow work?
I would say Instagram is probably the way to go with both of those things. There's a Hypnolovewheel Instagram that Stephen Hunking is running, and I do the Special Pillow Instagram, and I think those will be the places where the updates happen.
And the music is going to be available on Bandcamp, and Special Pillow is also available on Bandcamp, I'm assuming?
Special Pillow, most of it is available on Bandcamp. There's still a couple that we have to figure out the right masters for, but the vast majority of our catalog is on Bandcamp, and all of it is streaming on the various streaming services.
Oh, wonderful.
Don't ask me why that disparity exists, but it does.
That's for someone else to worry about. You're the creative guy.
Unfortunately, it is for me to worry about.
Damn, I was trying, man. I was trying. Well, Dan, this has been a lot of fun. I have really, really enjoyed going back and listening to all the music from Hypnolovewheel. Through this, I've discovered Special Pillow, and I am getting really into that. So this has been a bonus episode for me. I want to thank you for...
Okay. I appreciate it. Can I give a shout out also to the band Dewclaw, which is Steven's band?
Yeah.
Which is also great. DEWCLAW. And Dave Ramirez has a number of projects. The High Tunnels is his most recent one. High Tunnels, and that's on Bandcamp. Both of those are most certainly on Bandcamp.
Perfect, and I'll tag them in the when this comes out. I'll put them on the posts and all, so they'll know that they got some love from you. So, thank you so much for spending a chunk of your evening with me. It has been awesome.
It was fun. It was nice talking to you, man. I appreciate it, and getting the word out there about the parallel universe of Hypnolovewheel.
Till my eyes fall out. my breath till I get there.